here. Last but not least, thank you very much. Thanks to each and every one of you for being here this evening. And I want to thank the Republican Party for sending one of their finest. I just want you to know that when I'm governor, you'll be able to get at least $15 an hour. I think it's true of all the candidates. We offer food to really invite the trackers in for a square meal. It's a tough job, and what I can't figure out though is, since a lot of people are Facebooking this live, okay. I want to first acknowledge my fellow candidates who are here. We've been on a trail, some of us for several months, some longer. And when people dedicate themselves to a campaign, as someone who's been in a few, I can tell you that I know that each one of you puts your heart and soul into this. Joe Schiavone has been a spark plug in the state Senate, and every day he's out there slugging away, and I honor that, Joe, I really do. I served with Betty Sutton in the United States Congress, and a fierce advocate for people. Betty, I'm just glad you're not at the top of the ticket. And who could not be moved by Chantel Lewis's presentation as someone who really understands education firsthand. So, we've got a lot of good people who are running, and there's differences of opinion that we have on some vital issues that will give Democrats an opportunity to decide who the people want to represent the party in the general election. So in the next 8 minutes that would be allotted to me, I'd like to make the case as to why I think I may be that best candidate to represent our party, and what the issues are, I think, that are important to all Ohioans and hopefully to many people in this room. By dint of when I started my career in 1967 as a candidate for city council, I have a career with a trajectory that goes back 51 years. I've seen it all. And I might say, as some of you in this audience could attest to in your own life, I'm probably in better shape now than I was at any time in my life. I have more energy and more drive, and maybe because I changed my diet, that may have helped. And when we're talking about health care in this state, and I wrote the bill, H.R. 676, with John Conyers, for universal, single-payer, not-for-profit health care, to get rid of the premiums, the co-pays, and the deductibles that were just crushing people, causing people to lose their homes, lose their life savings, lose opportunities for their kids to go to college, because the insurance companies, and even today, under Affordable Care, they're still jacking up the premiums. Why? Because they make money not providing health care. That's their specialty. They wouldn't be in business if they didn't make money not providing health care. The model is wrong. It's flawed. Now, it took Canada to have a breakthrough in the province of Ontario so the whole country could have health care. And I think it will take a breakthrough, and Ohio is the place to have it, so the whole country can look to Ohio. But how do we do that? We have to reconfigure our spending. We have to dedicate the resources that exist in the state. There are people who are paying right now. Everyone in this room knows people who are paying at least $14,000 a year for a family, for health care. And then you add on that the co-pays, the deductibles. Any family could be paying easily 20 grand a year. Easy. Major illness, you're in trouble. We've got to change that and permit Ohioans to be able to survive. It's critical. So I'm developing, I'll roll it out in a couple of weeks, an Ohio health plan that will enable people to buy in for basic medical. And that means not only doctor visits, but health care, hospital care, enable people to be able to meet their bills. Now we also know From the failed issue 2, we learned that the state can also save money negotiating with drug companies. There's ways of saving money doing that. Now, the cost of health care is often driven by the choices that we make. Now, I learned about this early in my life. I had a horrible case of Crohn's disease. If any of you know about it, when I was 21 years old, I had radical surgery that took a good part of my intestines out and later on part of a kidney. And I actually lived a good part of my adult life with Crohn's. It wasn't until I changed my diet. Actually, when I went to the state senate in 1995, I met someone who was familiar with a vegan diet. I switched my diet and I added Chinese herbal medicine, and something the doctors told me was not possible actually happened. I beat Crohn's. Now, if I had not made that change, I can promise you that the cost of dealing with that disease alone would have at least been tens of thousands of dollars a year. Because before I had managed it, before I had to manage it medically and surgically, it was incredibly expensive. And I had insurance. So now what I've learned from my own experience is that you really can reduce the cost tremendously. I mean, I found out from my experience. And so we can come up with a plan that will cover people's basic health, plus give people access to complementary medicine, let them make their own decisions. You know, one of the reasons why I agree with Bill O'Neill on the marijuana issue, and particularly medical marijuana, which the state has botched that whole program up, people need to be able to choose their access to pain relief. And the drug companies were pushing these opioids. That was the only choice people had to relieve pain. I've had people tell me who suffered from chronic illness that they wanted access to be able to marijuana to be able to deal with their pain, and some are doing it anyway, whether it's the law or not. We have to recognize that people, as adults, have the right to make their choice, and they need to be able to make their choice for compassionate pain relief. There's ways of reconfiguring our health system, giving people a chance to take individual responsibility. And I want to lead the way for Ohio to do that. Based on my own experience as the one who helped draft the bill, where I understood that 1 out of every 3 healthcare dollars went for corporate profits, stock options, executive salaries, advertising, marketing, the cost of paperwork. Nothing to do with healthcare. So I know about that, and I'm ready to use that knowledge to push for an Ohio healthcare plan. Now, there's other issues in this election which, you know, I'd rather that we didn't have to talk about, but we have to talk about. How much time do we have left?
2:25.
Okay, that's good. On Saturday, I was at Public Square. How many of you, were any of you at Public Square on Saturday? There were about 20,000 people there. I was there with, marching with the young people, and I didn't speak. I was on, at the stage, but I didn't speak because I felt the young people over there were speaking for me, with an eloquence and a poetry that was incredible. And if anyone was close to that stage and listening to them speak, you could not help but be moved to tears. They're pleading for their lives. They're asking us to stand with them. They should not have to be in a classroom worried about whether an assault weapon is going to be brought into school and they're going to be sprayed and they'll be themselves and their classmates are in jeopardy. No teacher should have to worry about it. No parent should ever have to worry about dropping their kid off at school and wondering if they're going to see them again. But that's where we are today. This is why myself and Tara Sample are leading the effort to ban assault weapons in the state of Ohio. Now, 2 years in the state senate, 16 years in Congress, I earned my F from the NRA each and every year. And I cannot be compromised on that. No one can tap me on the shoulder and say, Dennis, let me tell you something. You've overstepped your bounds. If you want our support, here's what you have to do. There is a difference in this election. The Plain Dealer announced this morning in their headlines that the race is a dead heat between myself and another candidate. You in this room can decide who that candidate will be, who will represent the party. And I'm letting you know that I'm ready to go forward to take this challenge on. The challenge of protecting our safe space. The challenge of never having people have to worry about going to a church or a movie or a shopping center and being worried about somebody coming in with an automatic weapon or with an assault rifle. I'm ready to take that on, and I'm the one candidate who's prepared to do that. And if you want someone who has the ability, the courage, the stamina, the willingness, a proven record as a fighter to take that on and every other challenge in this state, thank you.